All right, let's talk about building the perfect daily routine for students. And I'm not talking about one of those crazy, impossible schedules you see online. We're going to build a balanced system that actually works, one that boosts your focus and, believe it or not, gives you more free time. Let's get right into it.
Okay, tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day I finally get it together. Sound familiar? You set your alarm for 5 a.m., you picture this super productive day, but then tomorrow comes. You hit snooze, you scroll on your phone for a bit, and boom, it's somehow nighttime again. If that's you, hey, don't worry, you are not alone. But there really is a better way.
And this right here is the whole secret. Look, you are not always going to feel like studying. Motivation, it comes and goes. A solid routine, though, doesn't care about your feelings. It's the system, the structure, that just carries you through to the finish line, day in and day out.
So why is this so hard for so many students? Well, most routines fail for one of two reasons. They're either way too intense, so you burn out in a week, or they're so unstructured that you just end up procrastinating. The real key isn't to work harder, it's to work smarter inside a balanced framework.
I love this analogy. Think of your routine as your brain's personal operating system. You know, if you don't give it proper rest, energy, and a clear structure, your mind just crashes. A good routine is like the software update that keeps everything running smoothly, and it stops all those mental error messages from popping up. Okay, let's kick things off with the morning, because how you start your day really does set the tone for everything else. If you start with chaos, you're going to feel chaotic all day. But if you start calm, focused, and with a clear intention, you're going to feel in control.
We're going to break this down into 4 simple but super powerful steps. It all starts with how you wake up, then getting your body moving, fueling your brain the right way, and finally, diving into a solid block of deep, uninterrupted focus. First off, you do not need some insane 4 a.m. alarm. That sweet spot is usually somewhere between 5:30 and 7 a.m., when the world is still quiet. But the biggest mistake people make is what they do next. Reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, that's like inviting 50 strangers to just dump all their thoughts and problems into your brain before you've even had a sip of water. Instead, drink some water, open a window, and let that natural light tell your brain it's time to wake up.
Now, you don't need to go run a marathon. Just think of this as turning on the Wi-Fi for your brain. Seriously, just 5 minutes of stretching or walking around gets that blood flowing, delivering a fresh shot of oxygen to your brain. It means you'll actually understand what you're reading instead of just staring blankly at the page.
And that brings us to the most powerful part of the morning, a deep focus session. The method is so simple. 50 minutes of pure, no distractions work on your hardest subject. Then you take a 10-minute break. And this part is absolutely crucial. During that break, do not touch your phone. Stand up, stretch, look out the window, give your brain some actual rest, not just more stimulation.
All right, let's shift gears into the afternoon. This is usually when classes happen, and you know it, that dreaded energy slump hits. But instead of fighting against it, we're going to work with it and use this time strategically for a different kind of learning.
During your classes, your number one goal is to be an active learner, not a passive one. Don't just sit there copying down what the teacher says. You got to process it. Take notes in your own words, ask questions if you're confused, and then spend just 2 or 3 minutes right after class summarizing what you learned. This tiny little habit makes the information stick. It's like learning it twice with almost no extra effort.
And this is such a common trap. A heavy, oily lunch sends all your body's energy straight to your stomach, and your brain becomes super sluggish. A light, nutritious meal, on the other hand, that gives you sustained energy and keeps you sharp for the rest of the afternoon. Oh, and remember to keep drinking water. Dehydration feels a lot like being tired.
Okay, so after that light lunch, your brain deserves a little mini recharge. A short power nap, we're talking 15 to 20 minutes, is absolutely perfect for hitting the reset button. Any longer than that, and you risk waking up feeling groggy. And hey, if naps just aren't your thing, a quick 10-minute walk outside works just as well.
Your brain is naturally a little bit slower in the afternoon, so this is the perfect time for hands-on practical work. Don't try to cram a bunch of dense new theory. Instead, solve some problems, do practice papers, or work on that essay. This part of the day is all about active doing, not passive reading.
So as we get into the evening, the focus shifts again. This isn't about more intense studying, it's all about balance. It's time to recharge your body and your mind, while also kind of gently reinforcing what you learned earlier in the day.
After a whole day of sitting and thinking, your body is just craving some movement. Just 20 to 30 minutes of activity, whether that's playing a sport, going for a run, or even just dancing in your room, can totally change how you feel. It'll reduce your stress, boost your mood, and you'll sleep so much better.
Now, this is such a powerful idea, the mental reset button. You know, the most successful students don't study 24/7. They have hobbies. They draw, they play an instrument, they write. These creative things are essential for preventing burnout and keeping your academic work from feeling like a total chore.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important block of the day. Because what you do right before you go to bed doesn't just end today. It actually sets the stage for a successful tomorrow.
The nightly reset really just comes down to 3 simple habits: a quick plan for the next day, a firm digital sunset to help your brain wind down, and of course, prioritizing your sleep.
Here's a tough rule, but it's non-negotiable. No screens for at least 30 minutes before bed.
That blue light from your phone or your laptop tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, which is exactly why you end up scrolling until 2 a.m. Replace it with reading a book, listening to some music, or just journaling for a few minutes.
And this brings us to a critical rule: never sacrifice sleep for studying. It is completely counterproductive. Think of your brain like a computer. All that studying you did is like loading the data. But sleep is when you actually hit the save button and process it all. Cutting your sleep short is basically like throwing away all your hard work. But look, a perfect schedule is pretty useless if you don't have the right mindset to support it. This right here is the foundation that makes the entire system actually work in the long run.
And this says it all perfectly. It is so much better to study for 4 focused hours every single day than it is to pull a 12-hour cram session and then completely burn out. It's those small, consistent efforts that build real, lasting momentum.
So we come full circle. Your daily routine is your personal operating system. It determines your focus, your energy, your results, everything. After seeing this whole blueprint, the only question left is it time for you to install an upgrade?